This is News You Can Use.
Last Friday, we woke up to some seemingly discouraging news. 30-year fixed-rate mortgage rates topped 6% for the first time since 2008. Our industry is already down, that is housing finance, 75% year over year, and mortgage demand was already at a 20-year low. And then last Friday's news, rising rates. Not good news. As always, I want to offer you a greater perspective. There's one primary factor that is driving interest rates higher right now: inflation, the cost of goods and services. Although inflation has already been dramatically compressed over the past several months by the Fed's aggressive actions, the August Consumer Price Index numbers still showed a monthly increase of 0.1%. Not big, but on top of all of the other increases previous, still too high. Costs were driven by increases in food, in shelter, and medical care services, offsetting a sharp decline, thank God, in gasoline prices. The Fed's target for healthy inflation is 2%. The last 12 months, even factoring in the modest gain in August, still shows that our economy is running hot at 8 to 9% inflation rates. So, the Federal Reserve will continue to increase the federal funds rate as its single largest tool to curb inflation. Raising rates, it's a blunt instrument, and you cannot fight the Fed. They will win. As much as the Fed is still hoping for a soft landing with the economy and still referring to inflation as transitory, whatever that means, most economists agree that the Fed's efforts will indeed ultimately lead us to a recession. And recession, as we all know, is a scary word. Once again, some perspective. Barry Habib, an American entrepreneur, mortgage industry executive, best-selling author, and founder and CEO of MBS Highway, recently shared with Supreme Lending this important data point. Over the last 60 years, the housing market has remained very strong through every recession that we faced, with the exception of the Great Recession, an event caused by the collapse of the housing market itself. The Great Recession was fueled by easy credit, insufficient regulation, and toxic subprime mortgages. We're not doing those today. So the scenario is different, which means in every other recession, other than the Great Recession that we faced as a nation, the housing market, our business, has actually increased in demand, in price, and volume ultimately. Why? Well, as soon as we turn the corner towards acknowledging the recession, the Federal Reserve will stop raising interest rates. In fact, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, looking down the road, predict that interest rates will fall back from 6% plus into the 4 to 5% range next year, helping to reactivate the potential buyers who may have pressed pause in the current inflationary and high interest rate environment. Good news is right around the corner. In the meantime, some perspective. On the same day that we heard that the average U.S. 30-year loan would rise above 6%, there was another news story out there: Argentina. You see, inflation is not, well, a U.S. event. It's a global event. And the U.S. is actually faring much better than the rest of the world. Last Friday, Argentina, they raised their interest rate as well, but not to 6%. To 75%, as their inflation numbers were not 8 to 9%, but 100%. That's right. The cost of everything in Argentina cost twice as much this year as it did just 1 year ago. Without a doubt, here in the U.S. and in housing and housing finance, we're in a challenging season, but we're also extraordinarily blessed to be enduring this challenging season in the greatest nation on earth. So, over the coming weeks, be a voice of positivity to your neighbors, your customers, and your coworkers. Inflation may not have proven to be transitory, but this season of adversity is. And if we approach our challenges with the right mindset and perspective, We'll emerge from this season victorious and better as professionals and people for having endured this adversity, this challenge. In the meantime, we'll be announcing some new tools shortly to help you and your customers win during these challenging times. This is News You Can Use.